Views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Natural Peace Radio, emotionally activated, magically created. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as Sarah van Rijsewijk helps people manifest their desires and activate their energetic spark. This hit show focuses on different themes each month, with listeners learning to understand their creation process and the profound power of their emotions. Call into a show to talk with Sarah, 800-930-2819. Natural Peace Radio. Your happiness is your choice.
Hey everybody, welcome. I get to co-host today with Sarah, as you just heard in the introduction. You know, I got to tell you, I am just so thrilled about the lineup and, you know, who people are that are coming together and what they're doing. And Sarah is one of those people. For those of you out there, I know you love her and love her work. We're going to open up the phone lines really right away, because then you're going to get to see what her amazing gift and talent is all about. I just want everybody to know that this is, when we think about this hit show and we think about, you know, her coaching and I say tarot, some people say tarot. I don't know what it is. Sarah's like, you're laughing, right? Like, is it tarot, Sarah, or is it tarot? What is it?
I don't know. It's like the potato thing, right? I say tarot, but you know, what do I know?
Okay. And Benny says potato, I think.
Right?
I don't know. But you know, let's talk a little bit for a minute about you before we jump into this.
Okay.
I've gotten to work with you personally. I'm so thrilled that I am honored and get to do this with you. But when we're talking about you, your gift, you know, what you're doing in the world, natural peace living, all of the things that you're bringing to the forefront, I want to ask you, what is it about all of your work, everything you're doing, holding the consciousness, that lights you up every day?
You know, I like to be able to see the relatability with people. Like I worked with some people over the weekend doing readings, and it was really cool because at one time I just realized how in depth the readings were going and how much insight people were getting from them. I mean, just the first person that sat down with me was in tears by the end of the reading. And we had several others that just got so emotional with what was pulled out of the cards. So anytime you're doing something like that, where you have that, where you have that sort of reaction and you can just be with this person and have that interaction, that's what we're here for, I think, is to be able to relate with each other and to have that validation.
It is. And for those of you just tuning in, I just want to make everybody aware. Yeah, you know, I'm Dr. Pat, but I get to co-host a number of different shows with folks. This is Natural Peace Radio with Sarah van Rijsewijk, and joining me here today, emotionally activated, magically created. Today, we're talking about the importance of following your passion. And, you know, for ourselves today and working over the weekend, that's you following your passion, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
so let's talk about this thing. What do we love to do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's funny because this question shouldn't be as difficult as it is. We kind of forget like what we love to do. I mean, you ask people, I had a conversation with a client recently and I was like, oh, well, what do you like to do? And she was just shocked with the question. Like, I don't know. I have my kids and I have my work. And I'm like, yeah, but like, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? What lights you up, gets you excited? And she's like, my kids and my work. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like, we have these passions and we have these things that we that we did, and we do them for fun, and we do them willingly. Like my decision to go read cards over the weekend was something that was my decision, you know, whether I went or not, because it just lights me up. And it just, you know, that's what so many of us are missing in our lives, is we have things that we love to do, and we either don't give them enough time, or we forget what they are. You know,
Yeah.
Can you relate to that?
Yeah, I can relate to it, but I want to talk about something too that's related. And that is, you know, a lot of times we talk about what do you want to do that you love for work. But let's have a bigger conversation for a minute, because sometimes we don't even give ourselves permission to talk about what do we love to do, period. Like for me, and what happens when we fall out of love with that thing, right?
Yeah.
I had a very similar experience over the weekend. I love to play table tennis. My thing. I love it. I've always loved it. I stopped playing for about 40 years. But I started to play again, more like 30. But I started to play again, but I hadn't played competitively, Sarah, right? And this past weekend I played competitively, a little tournament, and we didn't know who our partners were going to be. And I totally let my partner down. I totally went into this old pattern of, oh my God, you know, what if we don't win? I didn't say that to myself, but you know how you can feel it in the bones.
Yeah.
What I have to be mindful of, and I know many of you know what I'm talking about, something happens to us within the range of that thing we love to do. And our first inclination is to walk away from it.
Yeah.
But that's not really it, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, I think there's the competitiveness that we get, and then there's the, you know, are we doing this right, or are we doing a good job with it? I think that might be the underlying cause for it. Because I mean, I've done stuff before too where we feel threatened, I think, a lot of the time, and we question if we're doing it right. And there's, you know, in my opinion, there's no right or wrong, especially with, you know, how you're channeling your creative energy, which is all we're ever doing. You know, the word channeling kind of freaks a lot of people out, but that's what we do when we have that passion for anything, you know, whether it's table tennis, or for me, it's writing, or kayaking, or hiking, or any of that awesome stuff. I mean, we're channeling that energy because we're using it to manifest something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And, you know, here's what I know. I got some tools, and you work with people to help them get some tools, right? You love to write. You love to, tarot, spirituality. You love these things. And so you immerse yourself in them. The thing I want to talk about, too, is not only can we immerse ourselves in it, but like today, I realized for me what was going on. So I get to play on Wednesdays, right? So I'm going to get to play later on tonight, and I am sure I'm going to see Chris. So in my heart, for me, I got him a little chocolate bar and a little package of peanut butter. And I'm going to just have a chat with him and just say, I know I didn't play my best. And I'm going to really work on not doing that again.
Right.
And you know, for me, but when I came to that point about it, I felt free.
Yeah.
I felt free. How often do we get pressure from our loved ones to not do what we love? How do we keep the passion in that, in it?
Yeah. I mean, I think I believe that the more we do something, the more we feel the passion for it, right? If we're talking about law of attraction, then, you know, if you're putting your attraction on, or you're putting your energy on something, then it just gets bigger. So you're attracting more of it into your life. And I think that the things that make us feel good, like, you know, for your passion, if you're passionate, your table tennis and things that just light you up, I feel like you're supposed to be integrating these things that feel good to you. And I mean, I don't know. It's hard when you have like backlash from family and from people who don't understand that. But then you could also turn it around and look at them and say, you know, what is it that lights you up? Like, you know, are you doing the things that you love to do? I mean, we're all guilty of this. We're all certainly, spending less and less time doing the things that we want to do. So anytime if you have a family member who's not supportive of something that you love, it's probably because they're coming from a place where they feel maybe they're not supported in the things that they love, or they haven't allowed themselves the time to do the things that they love. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And we're going to open up the phone lines because many of you listen to the show right now. Here's the thing. Many of us are running on autopilot. We're, fleeting moments, dedicated to doing what we love, but we forget. Is that doing the things we love? Is it going to give us meaning to our life? That's what Sarah helps us with. And the question about that is seriously important. Now, why is it? Because Sarah works with people to help all the folks she works with tap into the powerful energy of the universe. And that's what we're going to do today. Are you sitting and thinking, I'm never going to do what I love? And boy, am I ever going to make money from it? What's that about? I want to make sure we're opening up the phone lines. 1-800-930-2819. We're going to take your calls. We're going to do some readings. I love it. 1-800-930-2819. And by the way, Sarah.
Yes.
Between you and Jessica inspiring me to get back to something I love, I am going to be doing a show next week, Benny. Get ready for it. Get all the sound effects out. Crust busting your way to an awesome life. We're going to kick it back old school. Why? I love it. Just going to be me. Just going to be all of you. But right now, it's Sarah, 1-800-930-2819. Sarah, what's the best way for people to find out more about you?
Sure. So your best bet is to go on my webpage. If you go to naturalpeaceliving.com, all my contact information, phone numbers, all that stuff, email is all on there. I'm also on Facebook under Natural Peace Living, and the same thing with Instagram. So people can get on all those outlets and get in touch with me. I'd be honored.
Awesome. All right. Short break. When we come back, passion. Passion.
Awesome.
Where to passion? Where to go? Is it hiding? How can Sarah help us bring it on back? We'll be right back, everyone.
Winning at the game of money. Lynn Brown is now offering Full Spectrum Finance, a progressive 12-month program that will help you to navigate through the mechanics of financial expansion. Finally, a financial planner who looks at the full spectrum of money and abundance. Engage you in the mental, physical, and energetic aspects of finance. This is Full Spectrum Finance. Are you ready to get into it? For more information, go to fullspectrumfinance.com.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
Best-selling author, spiritual life, and business coach Joe Nunziata brings his higher energy and no-nonsense style to people who are ready to make powerful changes now. Wake up, step up, power up with a shot of Joe. Join Joe the second and fourth Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern for 30 minutes of high energy, no nonsense, and powerful tools to make powerful changes. Visit joenuns.com. That's JOENUNZ.com.
Your happiness is your choice on Natural Peace Radio. Follow Sarah van Rijsewijk as she addresses the power of emotions. Each month, Sarah covers different topics as she helps listeners activate their energetic spark and create powerful energy and amazing opportunities. Manifest your desires with Natural Peace Radio. For more information on Sarah and her work, visit naturalpeaceliving.com.
Integrate spirituality into your everyday lives on Universe Soul Heart Radio. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as Kathleen Johnson explores the concept of sensible spirituality, keeping you grounded, connected, and centered on the path to wholeness. Kathleen has dedicated her life to facilitating holistic healing and wholeness in others. Listen to Universe Soul Heart Radio and learn how to flourish, grow, and impact all we do on planet Earth. For more information, go to universesoulheart.net.
Are you stuck in unhealthy habits, toxic relationships, or low self-esteem? Do you crave a life of inspiration, love, self-acceptance, and fun? Sounds like you're on the verge to your next big thing. Join Laura Richer, host of On the Verge Radio, helping you use your breakdown for a breakthrough, overcome life's greatest challenges, and live the life you want and deserve. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio or visit SeattleHealingHypnosis.com for more information.
You like New York City in the daytime, I like New York City in the nighttime. You say you like sleeping with the air off, I don't, I need it on. You like the light coming through the windows, I sleep late so I just keep them all closed. You ignore the music on the radio, I don't.
Yeah, boy. Hey, everybody. Live call-in show right now. 1-800-930-2819. I have got my little angel cards, and we got some tarot going on here with Sarah. Sarah, again, before we start talking about passion, I would love for you to first tell folks what it is you do, how you work with people, and what you can do to help them move past whatever they're holding them back, or maybe they just want some insight.
Sure, absolutely. So my job is I work as a life coach. I work with people one-on-one while they're moving through transitions, and try to help them focus on what it is that they want to be moving towards, as opposed to the traditional counselings and therapies and focusing on the past and healing the past. Coaching, my practice with coaching is really future focused. And tarot is one of those things that just kind of stumbled into my life a couple of years ago. And a lot of my coaching practices are focused around what comes up in our cards during a tarot and coaching session. So you get like an hour-long session, and cards are pulled, and we focus in on, what's going on in your life and what you're moving towards. And the cards just help give that added layer of validation. And then I do individual readings. I offer 6-card spreads, and then a couple other deeper spreads that I'm learning to do. And then I also offer Reiki healing. So I'm a Reiki level 2, and I work with people on that through distance or in person. I'm down in Norfolk, Virginia. So if anybody's from around there, then you should get in touch with me. So
I love it.
Awesome.
I'm excited. I was excited about today because one of the things that Jessica and I and the team, are talking about, we just this morning had a team production meeting, which is great. And, part of that is, we get to share what's new in our technology, what's being done, what's happening with our Lyme disease crowdfunding initiative. We get to talk about things like, hey, Justin Carter, can you write descriptions for the weapons? Can we talk about the weapons that the heroes are going to have? And of course, the weapons are all in holistic, Rife machine kind of things, and our silver and things like that, acupuncture. So we get to do those fun things to get ready to launch our campaign to have a whole new narrative on Lyme disease awareness through a board game, video game, and phone app. And so that's our crowdfunding. So we get to have these conversations. There are a lot of people, Sarah, that don't have anybody they can talk to about their passion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yep. Especially if what you're into is what a lot of people aren't into or don't even know. I certainly can relate to that. I mean, when I moved down to the area I live in now, it's like 9 months ago. I really didn't, obviously I didn't know anybody. I have no family down here. And the things that I'm interested in with, spirituality, meditation, I was lucky enough to move right near a yoga studio. So that was good.
Wow.
But, it's one of those things that you're the things that fuel you and the things that you're so passionate about, you want to be able to spread that and to enjoy that with other people. But yeah.
So I know you work with people. How do you go about looking at, or shall I say, tapping in to things that perhaps they want to do, but they're afraid to ask to do. And people share personal stories with you.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's funny. There's actually a card that comes up a lot when people are wondering about this. I see it's very simple advice, and it's very accurate advice. My advice is to just start. Just like we said in the earlier segment, if you're, law of attraction would advise, like, if you do something and you're interested in it and you continue to do it, it gathers momentum and it gets bigger. And the more attention you put on it, the more you attract it into your life. So if you're a writer, you want to be a writer, then you go start a blog and you just start writing. And you just start something, anything. So if you're interested in writing, you just go start. If you want to read cards, then go buy yourself a deck. If you have to surround yourself with the things that give you that passion, in order for them to gain momentum and for them to get bigger in your life. You just have to start. That's my advice to anybody who is on the fence with, like, oh, well, what am I supposed to do, or how do I do it? You do it by just starting it and continuing and amplifying how you feel while you're doing that thing that you love to do.
I know. We're taking your calls, 1-800-930-2819. We're taking calls. I want to ask you a couple of questions. You work with people, and you look at things that are going on in their lives, and you have a very unique way of helping people in a peaceful, natural way to take action and move forward, to do what it is they need to do. For me, I don't want to not feel good about going to play table tennis, right? People may be thinking, oh, here she goes again with the table tennis thing. But, I was away for it for 30 years. And about a year ago or so, I started to play. And I realized again how much I loved it. And I've been getting better and better and better. And to have an incident where I create a story that I didn't do well enough and we could have won the tournament, and what everybody thinks about that is just a bunch of crust.
Yeah.
Now, I got some tools, but a lot of times we don't have tools about that.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. Now you're talking about the table tennis thing. The other day, I actually went to a party for a friend of mine for her daughter, and it was a roller skating party. And I was like, I haven't been on roller skates in probably 17 or 18 years. And I was brave enough to rent myself a pair of skates, and I have a 5-year-old, and she got herself on her little roller skates, and my husband put on his rollerblades, and we all went out, and we had so much fun. And it was just, it's like when we get so up in our head over it about how we're doing, and like you said, it's crust. Like, we've put this stuff on ourselves. She's fallen all over the place, but she's getting her balance. And I see her working her arms and figuring it out. And a couple other mothers getting on skates and, and they're like looking at me, and I'm like, you can do this. I can do this. We're okay. Haven't done it in 18 years or whatever, but it's okay. And I'm not going to judge you if you fall, if you don't judge me, But we get so up in our head over it, and we have that guilt, like, oh, I shouldn't do this, or, I could hurt something or hurt my tailbone, or, but we put that on ourselves, and we forget that we're supposed to be having fun, and we're supposed to be doing those things that light us up and that fuel us and make us just feel so much better.
One of the things that I'm really unclear about for my own life, but I'm really aware of, is how do I live my passion? And I want to talk about it. I think there are a couple of different parts to this, right? One of them is the part that says, I am passionate about something, but sometimes it's hard for us to even get there. So it's hard for us to say, this is what I really like. I was talking with someone the other day, and there's a line from the movie, the Richard Gere movie and Julia Roberts movie, the wedding movie, the second one they did. Yeah. And there's a line from it at the end where he asks her, what kind of eggs do you even like? That question, right? And she couldn't answer it. So then he goes off and goes back home. And then finally she shows up. And I don't remember the punchline from that. I would love to get that clip from that movie. Mm-hmm. But she shows up, and I think she gives him an answer like over easy, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it took her months to figure that out, right?
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Isn't it important for us to tap into our heart and what we really love?
Yeah. That's what we talked about a little while ago too. It's like we've totally forgotten, we get so sucked into the autopilot, and we go to work and we pay our bills and we drive this way and we do this. And, if we're lucky, we stop and get a cup of coffee and we take care of the kids and we do the laundry. And it's so easy to get sucked into the mundane and the routine. And when somebody asks you, what are you passionate about? What do you love to do? We draw a blank, and like Julia Roberts, we come back a couple months later and find our answer. But I think there's so much. I think it's a deep process, but it's also a very simple process to just remember, like who you are. Somebody said to me one time, look at what you did when you were a kid, and start there. Yeah. What did you like to do when you were a kid? When you were 7 years old, where did you spend your time? Were you hanging out at the playground? Were you hiking? Were you, traveling with your parents? What were you doing? And what used to light you up when you were younger? And just start by looking there. And I mean, I have little kids, and I know it's so easy for me to just send them to their room, go play with your sister. And I forget how to play,
right.
We forget that, what used to bring us so much joy when we were younger. And when we were younger, we were way more aligned than, a lot of us older folks running around with all of our lives attached to us and all of our experiences that we've completely forgotten.
I know. But when we think about this and we get back in the groove of it, we really get a sense of what we love and what we don't love. And this is why passion is so really cool. When we come back, we're going to talk about, now that we understand what our passion is, how important is it to admit it to another person? And then how important is it to actually take action on it, right? We're going to take a short break. Before we do, Sarah, please give out your website again and tell us about some of the upcoming events you have where you're located.
Sure, definitely. So my website information is naturalpeaceliving.com, and you can go on there and check out some of the blog articles, and obviously the radio information is all on there. And my phone number is there. My email address is all on the webpage. It's naturalpeaceliving.com. I am also on Facebook under Natural Peace Living, and same thing with Instagram. As far as events go, I actually have, if you're around Virginia, I live in Norfolk, Virginia, down near Virginia Beach area, and I will be hosting open tarot readings at the coffee shop that I work at part-time this coming Friday evening from, I believe, 7 o'clock until 9. So people are welcome to come in and get a reading. It's a 6-card reading with an optional conclusion card. And everybody seems to think they're super insightful. So that's what we're going for. And then I will be doing the open air market that I work at is also in Norfolk, Virginia. Mm-hmm. And that will be taking place on November 19th from 11 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock. And same thing, it's going to be open tarot readings with a 6-card spread and an optional conclusion card.
And when we come back, I have an instant feedback that came in, and somebody has a question for you, and I would love for us to pull some cards here. And for those of you that are ready to call in, 1-800-930-2819, everyone. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Live your magnificence, for the love of joy is a precious gift offered to us by Robert Schoenfeld, host of the Art of Powerful Living Radio. He takes us on an incredible 30-day adventure to expand our minds and hearts with the nectar of life, love, and joy. This book will help you bring more joy, love, health, abundance, adventure, romance, and magnificence into your life.
Are you searching? Looking for a sign? A message you need to hear? From the great unknown, from the most mysterious place that is the most familiar to your soul in the depths of who you are. The universe put someone here to talk to, someone God gave a blessing to, that you may find insight with. TheAngelLady.net, 1-800-323-1790.
In this day and age, if you don't reinvent yourself, you may never find balance, peace, and the sustainable life that is your birthright. Angela Watson Robertson, known as the Reinvention Warrior and the host of breakthrough radio show Masters of Reinvention, is here to help you reinvent every area of your life. Tune in and hear from the best in the personal transformation business and discover tips and tools for positive change. Live every month on Transformation Talk Radio.
Be you plus live your purpose equals joy. That's the motto of Unstuck Joy with Vicki Todd. Vicki believes you were born with gifts that are meant to make the world brighter. Each show will feature an art visioning journal prompt to help you create your way to soul clarity. If you're ready to get unstuck and create more joy, this show is for you.
Tune in the first and third Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit VickiWorldArt.com.
The Janice Underwood Show, helping you create the life you want, not the life you tolerate. Tune in each Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio as Janice delves into the life creator system and the next step in your spiritual evolution. Janice Underwood is gifted at helping spiritually minded people shift their mindsets to unleash the creator within. Our souls wish to wake us up. Those of us listening hear the call. Do you? For more information, visit JaniceUnderwood.com.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show, talk radio to thrive by. I am so thrilled to be talking to all of you. We have got talk radio for all of us. Are you ready and willing and able to accept all of the abundance you can muster up in your life? Check us out, the drpatshow.com, transformationtalkradio.com, transformationradio.fm. Oh my goodness.
To see you tomorrow, and every tomorrow, maybe you let me go.
Passion. Do you know, I'm Dr. Pat, everybody. Sarah. What are you gonna have? You know, I have a couple of favorite words, and you know what's really weird about it? They start with P's, the letter P. Huh. And no, Benny, it's not Pat. That's not one of them. There are a couple of them. And as a matter of fact, I am going to do a show next week, a crust-busting show on perseverance.
I like that.
That's my P. But passion. Passion is another one. Now, in my 70s, partay, that was a word. Benny, do you believe I just said that like that? For real? That was one of my big words. And I still kind of like it, you know, I still kind of like it. But there are things we relate to and they represent our value system and sometimes they don't. You know, right now we're going to talk about our passion being natural to us. Before we get to doing a couple of readings here and answering some of these questions I have for you, again, website, how can people work with you?
Sure thing. So the website is naturalpeaceliving.com. And if you go on my website, you can see all my contact information, email, phone numbers, all that great stuff. And then people can find me on Facebook, same deal, under Natural Peace Living. And same thing on Instagram is Natural Peace Living as well. Pretty streamlined, you know?
I love streamline. I love it.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. So here's something interesting, and then we're going to do our first reading. I'll give you some information.
Sure.
everybody that is in the PR world that knows me and knows Linda and does the show, they always ask me one question. I honestly don't even get on the phone with them anymore because I know this is going to be the question. Even if I want to talk about like something else, right? Like maybe like one of their authors, the question is going to always turn out to be, when are you going to write your book? And so Jessica, I had a little situation with the bank the other day, and Jessica did a favor for me, ran home, and she was looking for my corporation articles of incorporation, and they come in a big, fat, beautiful brown binder, right? So I said, look for the brown binder. And all of a sudden, Jessica calls me, and come to find out I didn't need that. We're in a panic about nothing, but it was going to be something. So she calls me and she says, I left you something on your desk, because I have a home office as well. I left you something on your desk, and I wrote you a little note. So she wrote a note, and the note was to Gail, one of our great PR people, and it said, Dear Gail, publish this book. And on top of it was about 2.5 inches of pages. And it was a version of a book I wrote on crust busting your way to an awesome life. Wow. And I never did anything with it because I didn't like it. And isn't this interesting, right? Jessica goes in my house, and out of all of the things that Jessica could have found, she found this. The other book that Jessica found about 6 years ago was my dissertation, and she had pulled it off a shelf, and she says, what's this book? It's got your name on it. So writing a book doesn't seem to me be my passion. How do we do things, Sarah? Or how do we get things done that may not seem to be our passion? But talking about crust busting, love to do it. Love to speak. But sitting and writing a book, ouch.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
I know that's hilarious.
Yeah. Well,
and now Jessica's outed me.
She's outed you. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, it's funny. I mean, I am published as far as like the blogs and the things I've written and some of the articles I've contributed to magazines and stuff like that. But I think that the writing a book thing hangs over so many people's heads, and it's something that you do have to be in the right mind frame for it. And I think that it's not unlike what we were talking about with the table tennis and the roller skates and things like that. Like, we're so afraid of the perfection that we place on ourselves. We're afraid to fall. We're afraid that we're not going to play well with our partner. We're afraid that we're going to lose. So we just don't. We just don't do it. And even though when we sit down to write the book, it probably will write itself. It's that's the energy that we're channeling with the universe. We're pulling this information from somewhere, and the task of sitting down in front of the computer might be daunting, but once you start to get the thoughts flowing, and once you start to go somewhere with it, and a lot of people think it's got to be this complicated, complex thing. It's, for me, I've noticed the more I just write about what's easy or what's easy and fresh in my mind, that's what people want to read, and that's what people can relate to. So it's about simplicity, and it's about just realizing that you said you didn't like it because we're so perfect in our mind. We're so concerned about the critics, and we're so concerned about how we play, and if we fall on the roller skates, that we don't do it.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And, one of the questions that has just come in for us, and those of you out there are wondering where these questions come from, go to the drpatshow.com and ask your question. Here's what I want to say. The questions come from a place where, we do our best to connect with you. If you want to have a reading, if you have a question, you want to get some insight, please, you can either call it 1-800-930-2819, or you can go to Transformation Talk Radio and click on the player for today's show, and it'll take you right to a place to ask your question. Pretty soon, you're not going to have to do all that clicking. It's just going to be there. Mm-hmm. But here's the question that's coming in. Let me just bring it up here. Here we go. Hi, Dr. Pat. Hi, Sarah. My question is as followed. I have passion, but every time I bring it up, I get shot down. Oh, okay, I get it. Every time I bring it up, I get shot down. So it must be, and this is from June. Every time I bring it up, I get shot down. What can you share with me? What insights can you give me so that it doesn't matter what other people say? Oh, I love this. Thanks, June.
I like this too. I'm so excited
June.
to. Thank you, June. Yeah. There's a quote I like. I wish I could give credit to whoever said it, but it was something like, "What other people think of you is none of your business."
Yeah.
Because if we all worry about what we're doing, we're never going to do anything. If we all worry about what other people think about what we're doing, we're never going to do anything. It takes.
Yes.
I just had this conversation with a fellow a coaching friend of mine who did something that she was so passionate about, and I had a conversation with her on Monday before this project that she gave birth to, and she was just radiating passion. She was so excited about what she was doing, and it took so much vulnerability for her to get up and do what she did, and it was so well received. And I think that we are, we're taught to worry about what other people are going to think, and we're taught to be concerned about the judgment and to be concerned about the criticism. I mean, there can be so many things going right, and what do we focus on? We focus on that one bad review, right? We focus on
well, look at me. Look at me with that little silly table tennis game, right?
Right. Yeah. And we just worry that, oh, am I doing the right thing, or did I misinterpret something, or did I spell it wrong? I wrote an article last year. I wrote a wonderful article I had in my head. I was so excited when it finally was published, and there was one spelling mistake in there, a word that I didn't want to use, and was published anyway. And I completely disregarded this article because of one word out of 2,400, So it's up to us to decide, is that worth it? Is it worth it to stifle that energy because we're worried about what other people think, or we're worried about, the opinions of the critics and the cynics and everything? And at least you have the courage to go out there and be vulnerable and put your passion into the universe to do with it what you will. I mean, there's a lesson in that as well. It's not just about doing, the lesson and doing what makes you happy and embracing your passion. The lesson is also being courageous enough to put it out there regardless of what other people say, because we're our own worst enemy. We criticize ourselves and we think that it's not going to be well received. And that's not the case,
No.
What do you think?
So how do we help June with what reading or what cards may help her?
Sure. Well,
stand strong. We have to stand strong, right?
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
but that sounds easier said than done.
It does. Absolutely, it does. But I mean, it's something that we all go through. I mean, you're doing your passion, Pat. I mean, you've got this amazing network of fantastic people who are helping people and inspiring others and uplifting. And you started it, and it took passion to start it, and it took passion to get through the obstacles and to move forward, regardless of what other people might think or say or whatever. I mean, we anybody who wants to channel that and to do what they really care about, they're part of the process is to learn to not take the criticism personally, and to know that it's kind of part of the package.
Mm-hmm.
But it's up to you to decide if you're not going to do something because of what other people might think of it.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I pulled an angel card of efficiency. What did you get?
All right. Hang on one second. There's a card that I can think of. I'm not sure if it's going to come up or not.
Uh-oh. This will be interesting now.
Okay. Here we go. So we've got the Seven of Swords reversed. This is cool. So for Seven of Swords reversed, normally Seven of Swords talks about that. When I see this card, it's like you can run, but you can't hide. And when we see it reversed like this, it's like we're facing our fear and we're no longer running away from something because of the fear. We're owning it, we're looking at it, and we accept it. And we realize that once we look at it and address it, that it's going to provide that platform for growth, which really kind of talks about what we just said.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope that was helpful.
Well, and part of what we're doing here is really looking at how do we gain the strength. See, I think what we have to do is gain strength first and then momentum. I have an interesting way I talk about this, and I learned it from sports, I think. Skill, strength, and then momentum. And I think that's true in life. It took me a while to learn any skill whatsoever about what I do every day. And my responsibility is to all the people that listen. I have a responsibility to the people that listen to show up as my best. Yes. And I continue to work on how to continue to fine tune that. Yeah. Everything from how do you go to break? How do you open a show? What do you say? What don't you say? How do you produce it? And, that's something that I think we all do. How do we sharpen our skill? And, what does passion do for skill, strength, and momentum? Passion is what provides the fuel.
Yes.
So when other people get in our way and our ideas, let me just say this for this lesson for this today. Here's what you should know. Ideas and dreams are meant to stay inside you until they're ready to be released. However, when they are ready to be brought to the surface, it is the people that are safe and that are going to support us. Those are the people that we share it with. There are mastermind groups that are formed. There are, coaches like Sarah that can hold the space for you to really talk about your passion and then cultivate a strategy for it. Yeah. So there are ways to do this. And I think this is important in talking about, in that if we talk to people who are not even supportive of their own vision, it would behoove us to think that we could share our passion and purpose with those that are not, right?
Yep.
I think that's really one of the lessons for today. Thank you, June. Thank you for that. I want to talk about a couple things too. I know time flies really quickly here. Most importantly, I think, is to have a conversation about, here we are, we've got our passion, we're really stepping it up. We think that, for the most part, we think that we're in the groove, we're in the zone. And all of a sudden we wake up one day and we don't think that we're talented enough. I know that you help people own their talent. Tell us about this and tell us why that's important. And this brings up the little bragging exercise, doesn't it?
Yes, there it is. I actually pulled that on another friend this week too. So I thank you, because she could have used a good dose of bragging in her life. And I think, I think that we belittle ourselves a little bit, don't we? We just, we try to be humble because we're taught that, we can't brag, that it's not okay to brag and it's not okay to be confident. I think is one of the big things for a lot of people, is we're not confident. And a lot of the stuff that we do that we're really good at, that we're really passionate about, is natural to us. That's what we were talking about earlier in the show.
Yeah.
It's natural. It comes natural to us. It's not something that we had to work super hard on. I mean, maybe we fine tune things and we read and we study and we go to some classes, we get some certifications, we do stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's a lot of it is just owning what is natural to you. Like, for me, I like to talk, I like to communicate, I like to write, and I like to tell stories, which it all makes perfect sense for the work that I'm doing, for the readings, for some of my writing and stuff like that. And it's something that it was never, you know, I didn't go to school for this stuff. It just kind of happened. It just kind of fell into my lap, and I realized that maybe I did have some skill in this department. And now it comes to the place of where you have to look at it and realize that you're very good at what you do. I was doing readings for some people over the weekend, and it was a lot of it over the weekend was focused on the quality and the time I was spending with these people. It was way longer than a 15-minute reading. Right. And I realized at one point that I was like, this is so helpful to these people. And this is so profound. And this isn't just a magic trick. And it's not the woo-woo tarot that some people have in their mind when they think of a tarot reading. It's psychological, it's deep, it's pulling something out, and it's validating, and it's not, it's doing so much for these people. I had, like I said, multiple emotional readings where people were in tears because of the validation that was coming out in these cards. And I had to really sit with the fact that I'm providing a great service, and I'm doing something I'm good at, and I'm doing something that's natural to me. Yeah.
It's so important. But the other thing that I think we should mention is that it comes through.
Yes.
There's an energy to doing the work that you do. Yeah. And the energy is important. I want to talk about the bragging exercise for a minute.
Go for it.
Because many of you may be thinking, well, what are they talking about? So what I use in some of the work I do, I don't use it always, is I ask people to brag about themselves. And yes, I use that word. I use the word brag because it is a word that we don't generally accept in our culture. We look at people that brag and we think, dude, arrogant.
Right.
But even if you don't want to try bragging to another person, I would recommend you look in a mirror and you brag away. Brag away.
Yep, absolutely.
Right? Because this is how you're going to do it. What does bragging do? It taps into those things that you may not believe are your passion, but truly are. And I think, Sarah, this is also part of what you do to help people step fully into who they are.
Yes, definitely. I've had people before. I mean, even when I started out on this journey and started out as a coach, I had, I knew what I wanted. I knew I wanted to get my certification. I knew I wanted to start working in this realm. And I had so many people who were like, not now. You can't do that now. No, why would you do that? No, what's the difference? It talks about what June was asking, and then your response, there's a season for it. And when it's time, you'll know it's time. And, we're taught to think that we can't do these things. And that's not the case. And I really needed somebody in the beginning that would hold me to that place. I found an amazing coach I worked with for a while who she understood, and she's like, of course you should be doing this. This is going to be great for you. And she saw something in me that I didn't see yet. And I just knew that there was something else going on underneath everything. And to have someone to hold that space and to have someone to hold you accountable for it, and to know that you're capable of it. I'm looking at this little sign that my daughter had at Valentine, and it says, "Believe in your talent, Valentine." And I'm staring right at that, and it's this exactly to what we're talking about. You have something that you're really good at. You probably have multiple things you're really, really good at. We just have to remember that and to believe that, and to not give so much airtime to the peanut gallery,
Well, all of the above really points to the fact that passion leads to purpose. Purpose leads to creating a better world for yourself and others. Sarah, again, thank you so much for today. Please give out your website.
You. Absolutely. It is naturalpeaceliving.com. And again, my email, my phone number, all that great stuff is on the website. And people can get me on Facebook at Natural Peace Living, and on Instagram, same thing, Natural Peace Living.
I love it. All right, everybody. This is really fabulous, fabulous, fabulous for us today. Sarah, thank you for all that you do. We're going to take a short break. Yeah, we've got more coming up. Sarah, thank you so very much. Happy Wednesday to you.
Same to you. Thank
All
you.
right. You bet. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
You've been listening to Natural Peace Radio, emotionally activated, magically created. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as Sarah van Rijsewijk helps listeners manifest their desires and create an awesome life, powerfully and gracefully. For more information on Sarah and her work, or to listen to past shows, visit her website at naturalpeaceliving.com.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.